Beijing, China, July 28, 2025. China in shock. Mega flood engulfs Beijing as 9 dams release water, hundreds of villages submerged, bus swept away, 14 missing in night of terror. Before dawn broke, the skies over Beijing turned into a thick gray wall of rain. Sheets of water crashed down like liquid walls, pounding on tin roofs, hammering streets, and swelling rivers by the minute. At 9 a.m. on July 27, 2025, Beijing Hydrological Station issued a red flood warning, the highest alert for the Jiyun River Basin. Sirens from rescue vehicles wailed across the city, signaling a catastrophe unlike anything seen in decades. The cause was no mystery to anyone in Beijing. Historic torrential rains had battered the outskirts of the capital, especially Miyun County, home to the massive Miyun Reservoir, the city's key flood control barrier. But when water levels surged beyond design limits, the dam stood on the brink of collapse. The only solution was an emergency release of floodwater. That decision triggered a nightmare that would sweep across northern China. By 3 p.m. on July 27th, the 2 spillway gates of Miyun Reservoir were opened simultaneously. Colossal torrents roared downstream, sweeping away mud, trees, and even fish from the reservoir. Within minutes, riverside villages vanished beneath muddy torrents. The current was so violent that even trucks were tossed around like toys. An 80-year-old villager sobbed, "In my entire life, I've never seen a flood like this. Everything is gone." It wasn't just Miyun. 9 other reservoirs across Beijing also opened their gates at the same time. Huairu, Daxiyu, Beidaitang, Haitangzi, Shiyu, Huangtongyu, Yangjiatai, and Huayu joined forces, unleashing a massive wall of water that plunged the entire Beijing, Hebei, and Tianjin basin into crisis. 352 mountain flood channels were shut down entirely, turning multiple regions into looming death traps of water waiting to burst. River levels rose hourly, tearing apart bridges, wrecking roads, and isolating dozens of villages from the outside world. In Liulimiaokun village, Huairao district, the aftermath looked like a battlefield. Mud piled up more than a meter high, vehicles were swept away, and courtyards turned into swamps. A CCTV reporter described, "Floodwaters rose at least 2 meters in the courtyards. Everything on the first floor was washed out into the streets." The owner of a local guest house recalled, trembling, "The water rose in just 10 minutes. We couldn't grab anything. We ran to the second floor and held each other, waiting for rescue." In Chengdi, Hebei province, residents tied ropes to trees to keep from being swept away. Viral images on Chinese social media showed dozens huddled on rooftops, surrounded by raging waters filled with broken concrete and tree branches. The cries of children mixed with rescue sirens, creating a haunting symphony of chaos. Faced with rapidly escalating danger, Beijing authorities activated the highest-level emergency response. More than 400 soldiers and 150 firefighters were rushed in with cranes, kayaks, and specialized rescue vehicles. Some teams had to hike 40 minutes up mountains to reach stranded villages. Firefighter Tang Junyu recounted, "We found 18 people trapped in a 2-story guest house. The mud was a meter thick. They were shivering, starving, but alive." Evacuations unfolded amid chaos. 500 residents of Taiping Zhuang village were forced to flee overnight. In Mujiayu town, 140 households, 246 people, were urgently relocated from flood zones. Authorities set up 9 traffic checkpoints, banning all vehicles and pedestrians from entering danger zones. Still, many families remained unaccounted for, trapped in a sea of water that rescuers had yet to reach. While Beijing battled floodwaters, the neighboring province of Shanxi suffered another tragedy. In the early hours of July 27th, a Ford Transit bus carrying farmers to harvest chili peppers was swept away near Nabanzhuang village, Tianjin County. 14 people went missing, most of them middle-aged or elderly. By afternoon, rescuers found the first body downstream. Locals described how they had woken at 4 a.m. to pick peppers, earning a few hundred yuan to supplement family income. As the bus crossed a shallow spillway, a sudden wall of water surged in, dragging everything into a swirling abyss. The scene left behind only twisted wreckage and sandals floating on the current. 700 rescuers, 2 helicopters, 8 drones, and 6 boats scoured 20 kilometers of river, but hope of survival grew slimmer by the hour. By midday July 28th, Beijing time, data from the Ministry of Water Resources confirmed 9 major reservoirs had simultaneously released floodwaters. 352 mountain flood channels were shut, 500 people evacuated, 140 households displaced in Mujiayu, and 14 missing in Shanxi, with 1 body recovered. Dozens of roads and bridges were destroyed or heavily damaged. Worst of all, the rain still hadn't stopped. Experts warned of looming landslides and secondary dam failures if downpours continued. Authorities in Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei established round-the-clock hydrological monitoring, sharing data hourly. Yet for those trapped in the floods, every passing hour meant life or death. The image of an 80-year-old man weeping atop a rooftop, surrounded by an endless sea of water, has become the haunting symbol of collective grief for thousands of families across northern China during this dark summer. When the waters finally recede, bare rooftops will emerge from the mud, revealing wrecked cars, ruined homes, and lingering questions about responsibility, preparedness, and a pain that may never heal.